Good afternoon. Garage has had a bit of a revamp, as you can see. Nothing to do with the fact that it's like 2 degrees outside. But I'm going to be doing the first part of the next job indoors, which is just to prepare the front cycle wings for going on the car. It's IVA trim again, so gluing some more trim on around the outside, but also drilling some holes, some mounting holes for the side repeaters to go on. And then I've got some decisions to make on the car, how I mount them. The manual calls for a really strong adhesive, which the kit does include. But with it being a race car, I feel like they're probably not going to be on the car all that long. So I'm thinking I'm going to rivet them on. Apparently both options are IVA safe. But we'll see. I'll get onto that when I get back in the garage. But for now, prepare these up a little bit and yeah, get them ready. Okay, first thing to note, look how shiny this is. It's actually quite a nice finish. I wasn't expecting it. So I'll put a blanket down, just protect it a little bit. And so I'm going to start on the side that's kind of hidden from the outside of the car, probably in the middle, masking tape the start, and then use the weather strip adhesive that I used previously for the other IVA trim, get it stuck on, masking tape down, and then we'll come to these holes for the indicator. Okay, that's one done. There's no chance of taking videos halfway through, getting my fingers covered in the stuff. As a reminder, is the reason why I use this stuff and not the super glue that Caterham recommend. Is this stuff, you've got half a chance of cleaning off all of the sticky fingerprints that I get everywhere. I don't know who can do jobs like this with super glue and just get it right first time with no mess. They're a cleverer person than I am. So this stuff seems to be more forgiving, just to wipe down with some WD-40 or some kind of solvent. Seems to do the trick, so I'm going to get a fresh pair of gloves on and give my fingers a rest, because it does get your fingers a little bit pushing this stuff on. I assume when Caterham factory build cars that this is like the punishment job that gets given to people who've been underperforming or something, because it's not pleasant. But I actually quite like the look of the IVA trim on these cycle wings. I think unlike the indicators and some of the other components where the IVA trim just looks a bit dorky, I think it finishes these off quite nicely. So there is that. Anyway, on with the next. I'm just about to start the second one now. So just a quick note on this IVA trim. There's a long side and a short side. The long side you want to have hidden on whatever panel it is you're doing. So that's the bit on the inside of the unfinished side of the cycle wings. So what I've done with the sealant is put just a really thin bead all the way around the inside. So that will grip onto the longer edge of that. And then the more sort of bulbous side, that'll be showing. That'll be the aesthetic side. Alrighty, so we've got both seals on now. The adhesive's just curing. And just taking a look at the side repeaters. So you can see here there's 3. Have you got something to add? Hi. So there's 3 holes drilled in here, like pilot holes pre-drilled. Come on, focus. There we go. And you can see they're not quite evenly spread apart, which matches the distribution of the things that need to poke through. Now, I had read on some other blog, it was kind of old one to be fair, that it did infer that these were equally drilled on here, which meant you had to file out the middle one offset in this direction to make it line up right. You couldn't just put a drill through it to widen it out. But I feel like I can do that. You know, I mean, the little M5 things, they probably don't even need drilling at all. No, so they don't even need drilling at all. So I just need to measure the bore of... just need to measure the bore of this and then drill that hole out in the middle. Job done. And then these will be in. So I'll go back to the garage, grab a drill bit, and I'll be right back. So there we go. Both indicators are mounted now. Not the sleekest of things, but rules are the rules. So I'll probably hang around inside for a while yet, just let the adhesive cure give them all a good clean down with. I mean, the set adhesive just comes off with WD-40 and a rag, so it's pretty easy to get off. Get them all cleaned up, and then into the garage to start mocking them up on the above the wheels. Get the alignment right and figure out whether I want to glue them or rivet them. I feel like gluing would be easier because I can put the glue on, do a dry fit, put the glue on, put the cycle wings on, have a bit of wiggle room, whereas with riveting it's positioning, marking, drilling, riveting. It's kind of, there's not much tolerance in that. So I'll see how I get on anyway, see what I feel like. But before I do that, I think I'm going to bleed my brakes and put some fluid in the brake system, just because once these are on, if I go with the adhesive route, I'm going to be tipped. Hello. Have you done? It's not bleeding, darling. It's ink.
What?
It's just ink.
What is the ink?
It's from a pen. Anyway, so once the adhesive's set, while the adhesive's setting, I'm probably going to tape these to the wheels to keep them secure. So anyway, I'll probably report back once I'm back in the garage later on tonight. Good evening, you join me one roast dinner later, and as you can see I've been relegated back to the garage. So just a little mock-up over here, nothing's mounted yet. And I've noticed a bit of a problem from earlier in the build, one of the early jobs I did. Pretty sure I've got these the wrong way around. I think that's the passenger side and that's the driver's side. And I just looked at a few pictures on a few other people's builds from last year, stuff like that, and yeah, pretty sure the higher of the two bits needs to be the leading edge, which is bizarre because even when you mock up it kind of looks acceptable. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna have to swap these over, unfortunately. Trying to remember exactly what I need to do. I'm thinking the bottom damper bolt probably has to come off, and then the ball joint, so I can tilt the whole thing forwards. But yeah, I will get on with that now. Yeah, it wasn't too costly, it wasn't too time consuming. I was able to just get the two nuts off holding it on without taking anything else apart. So with the other one off, get them swapped over, and then we are back to where we should be. Okay, we're cooking on gas again. I think I lost about 10-15 minutes at the most swapping those over, so not a big deal. All good. And it kind of makes sense now when you see it. The trailing edge of the cycle guard, cycle flap, cycle wing, whatever it's called, it goes much further down down the back of the wheel. So I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to bleed the brakes. I'm going to put some fluid in, because once I stick these cycle wings on, I'm not going to be taking the wheels off for the next 24 hours or so. So at least by bleeding the brakes, I can then move on to finish the handbrake off and do some other bits and pieces at the back.